When we are in pain, when we are down and we have no other hope but God, right? Then we reach out to God, and that miracle is so great. When he comes in and he picks us up and he dusts us off, he puts us together, and then we are standing strong on him, and then we can serve him and give him honor and the glory. So praise God for that. And I would like to also ask Inga to come up and share her testimonies as well. I remember when I first met Inga and I was listening to her testimonies, I was drinking them in. I just was looking at her and I was so amazed, because at that time I was so broken and so hurt, and I didn't think that God was listening to me. But through her testimonies, I realized that God, I just need to reach out and he's right there. And I really needed those testimonies. And I remember we would talk late into the night and we were so tired, but I know Inga would come out and say, you know what, God told me to tell you this one more thing to share you. And I needed that. It was just like oil on for my heart. And I realized at the moment that I wanted the same thing. I wanted to have a testimony to share. I wanted those same things, to experience God and to know him so deeply, and to have this relationship and to know that he's behind me, standing so strong, and he has my back, that whenever I fall, that he will pick me up. And that was just such important part of my life at the moment that I needed, and God knew that I needed that, and he put me together. And thank you, my friends, for your testimonies, because they were delight for me at that time of my life. So,
praise be to God for everything, right? Greetings to each of you. I'm so happy to see each and every one of you. And I know that there is a reason why you're here. It's not a coincidence. We prayed for Father to bring every soul who needs to hear the message that we have today. And I know that you are here for a reason. And it's a joy. Thank you, Cindy, for sharing your testimony. I barely held my tears, even though I know her story, and the Lord inspired me to come to her when I saw her in the church, and I have seen her growth. It's absolutely incredible how a person's life changes when Jesus becomes your king of your life. And Angelica as well. These two songs that we sang today, they are my favorite songs, because there are these words that there are so many reasons why I'm thankful to you. And how great is our God. I could talk for hours. That weekend when Angelica came in, when I was sharing testimonies literally for 2 days nonstop, basically. Basically, I was talking all the time. And Angelica was just listening, because I kept being inspired to share her stories. And today I want to share the testimonies that the Lord inspired me to share today, to share with you, so you would not be afraid of anything. That the Lord is with you. And if He's with you, you do not have to fear of anything. It doesn't matter what kind of storm of life you have. You know, I have been in that boat with Jesus for 18 years. I was born and raised in Lithuania, and when I was 22 years old, I got into a car accident that totally destroyed the life that I lived then. My boyfriend and I, we were driving 100 miles an hour on the icy road in the downtown of Vilnius city, and he was killed right in the place. Our car was broken into a couple pieces, like a piece of chocolate. And I lost my legs right there in the vehicle. Some parts of the car cut them right there in the vehicle. And you know, when I was brought home, I realized that the world the happy world that I knew then, it was completely destroyed. And it got destroyed without any return, because I no longer was able to do anything. Anything. I tell you, I was not able to turn on my other side while sleeping. I had to wake up my mom to help me turn on the other side. I was not able to speak. I was not able to move. I was not able to do absolutely anything. And at that point, I was 22 years old. And how do I live my life? And I was saying, God, how? You know, people had their own opinions, what happened and what my future held. And I had many, opinions that my life was destroyed. They were saying that we are so sorry that this young man completely destroyed your future. I heard even from the church people who said that God has punished me for leaving the church. That's another story. But I was saying, no, my life did not get destroyed. I was praying and I was seeking God and saying, God, I know that if you allowed this, there has to be a reason, there has to be a serious reason. And I was seeking for God every single day. I was sitting in that bed and looking and seeking for a living God. I knew that He was with me. And one day the Lord spoke to me through His word, and He said, I will restore your life and I will heal you. And you will see great, great glory in your life. And even though at that point it seemed absolutely impossible, I actually told that in the prayer. I said, God, I don't know what you have in mind, because it's impossible to restore my life. I cannot even leave my room. I said, but okay, do whatever you have in mind. Show me yourself. Show me who you are. Show me your glory, and I will bring your glory to the nations. And you know what? Today I stand before you and I testify to each of you that God that we believe, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Jesus Christ, He is all-powerful God. He can restore whatever is broken in your life. He can heal any wounds of your soul. He can give life. No matter how broken you are, no matter how everything is destroyed, no matter how hopeless it seems, He can give you life. Already 3 years after the crash, I was able to travel across the globe by myself. Imagine when I began my journey, being able to do absolutely anything. 3 years later, I traveled across the globe to California, and with God's help, I established my life all over again. He led me, He taught me throughout the entire path. And He was telling me, just like to Cindy, do not be afraid, for I am with you. And He has been teaching me, as Father teaches his child, to live in obedience before Him and to trust Him in all circumstances, no matter how desperate they were, no matter how I did not see what's the next step. He just said, trust me. And just make your step and do whatever you have to do. Just trust me. And today my life is restored. I truly can say to you with sincere heart, even though somebody might say maybe not because they see me in a wheelchair, but quite frankly, truly, honestly, throughout my path, I got to know my God as my Father. I am not afraid of anything. It doesn't matter what storms I have in my life. I am not afraid. I am not worried. He is taking care of me. And through all the glory that the Lord has shown in my life, if somebody would say to me today, if I will give you legs, and you go back to where you were then and be who you were, I would not agree. I would not want that. Seriously, because what the Lord can give you cannot compare to anything, any physical, economical well-being, whatever that is. It cannot compare. Truly, I say that to you. I witnessed like firsthand because I went through that. And with that, I want to encourage you. Know that the Lord can do miracles in your life no matter how broken you might be today. And today, and as we were speaking, that there are so many people who believe in God, and they go to the church and they read the Bible, and while they're going through the storms of life, they get scared, they get panicked, they get depressed, they are sad. And the Lord inspired me, said, go share with them, to not be afraid. Throughout my life, there were many, many times when I was praying and I was not receiving the answer that I wanted. And I was saying, God, where are you? I was alone, and I had my family with me, but my circumstances were so desperate that I had no other way but to trust like a little child in the miracle of God, that He can do something. I had to become like a child. And there were times, and I was learning to trust Him. Like the faith that I have today didn't come just overnight. I had to learn to trust Him, to step out in faith. And I was praying to Him, and I said, God, I don't know how, I don't know when, but I know that I will live my life fully. You have promised me. You have promised me that you will restore my life. And He was inspiring me to aim for goals to bring my life further. But as I was working, I would not see the answers to some of my prayers, and I couldn't understand. There were times when the Lord would give me arrangement for my life, but I was not really satisfied with it, and I wasn't really happy. And I was saying, God, couldn't you arrange this differently? I was literally saying to Him, like, I don't really like it. Couldn't you arrange different place for me to live, different roommate? Like, He's irritating me or whatever, I was literally saying to God, and the Lord said, accept my arrangement. This is for your good. And there were times when it seemed like it's a distraction, nothing is going, and I was saying, Lord, I don't understand, what are you doing? Why these things happen in my life when you are in my life? It seems like, when God is in your life, everything should be fine, right? And when you pray and the answers are not coming, and actually opposite things are coming, and you're not understanding what is going on. But after some time, when the time came, the Lord showed me absolutely incredible revelation. He gave me that all things, absolutely all things, all those times that I did not hear God's answer, that I did not receive my prayers, answers to my prayers, the pain, everything worked for my good. It was not easy to accept it, really. It wasn't. But when I saw that, I could not believe it. And I was saying, God, are you for real? It was the first time I realized that when I was already in California. It was, I think, 4 years since the crash. I came to California ready to establish my life. And I had on my legs already comfortable prosthesis here. And I was happy watching how my life was changing. And then suddenly, it comes a thought to me, wait a minute, if not those 2 years of despair, of pain, of endless pain, and those nights when I could not understand why I'm not receiving your answer, I would not have these comfortable prostheses. Those 2 years that I was aiming to walk again, they were so difficult, I cannot even describe to you. The prosthesis that I tried to walk with, they were cutting my skin. I had open wounds in my flesh. Every single step seemed like somebody was stabbing me literally with a knife. Every single step, I was just closing my eyes out of pain. And every single step was through enormous amount of pain. And I was saying, but God, I know that you will bless me. You told me. And I know that this desire to walk is not, it was placed by God. And I would not receive my relief. But then, when after 2 years, I finally realized that I would not be able to walk with those prostheses, and I again faced the despair and total hopelessness, and I resisted. I was like, God, I don't believe that it's impossible. There has to be a way. I don't believe that this is the end. And just that moment when I was about to give up, it seemed like I get this gentle thought, the very clear thought, go on the line and look for help in other countries. And I obey that voice, and I go online, and even though I didn't know English yet, I took the dictionary to translate every other word because I didn't know the language. I began doing the research, and the Lord connects me with American prosthetic specialist from California who was interested in helping me. And then in a week after our communication, he says, what a coincidence. I am scheduled to do the seminar in Turkey about the prosthetics, and that's the closest place where I will be next to Lithuania. So if you can come, and I will see what's wrong with your prosthesis. And I knew that was the answer. I knew, and people called me crazy that I was going to Turkey in the wheelchair. But I said, don't tell me what to do. I know this is what I need to do. And I traveled to Turkey. And it's a very, very long story. It's written in the book fully openly. But I will just say now that that man was inspired to help me after meeting in Turkey. And he said, I will do whatever it takes to make artificial legs for you. And he invited me to come to California. He said, I will make legs for you as a gift that cost, just the parts of the prosthetics cost over $40,000. And thus I come to California 3 years later and have these comfortable prostheses. And then that was the time when I was realizing it seemed like God was not answering my prayer, but the endless pain and despair, actually that's what needed, that motivated me to go online and to seek other ways and to find that way. It seemed to me that God was not listening to me, that he was not answering my prayer. For 2 years, you understand, it was 2 years, it was over 700 days. Every single day I was saying, not seeing the results, I was saying, God, I trust you, you have to have a way. I believe in you. It seemed that he was not answering, but he did. But the thing is that God was answering to my prayer the way he had planned it. God's ways, do you know that verse? God's ways are not our ways. And his plans are not our plans. And God's plan was for me to be in California. And he was leading me the way I needed to go. And that time taught me to persevere. That time, those 2 years taught me to trust him, even though I don't see the result right away, to believe in God, have unshakable faith that the Lord, especially if he promises you something, he will do it. It's just that he might do it in another time or in a different way. And with this testimony, I want to encourage you, if you are praying for something and the answer is not coming, and it's difficult and it's painful and it's not working out, do not give up. You have to persevere. You have to stand in the unshakable faith and do not doubt your God, because he has his ways. He's just answering maybe in a different way, the way that you don't even know yet, because he has a plan for your life. And he has a plan that you don't know, but he knows. And trust me, oh, how thankful I was that he did not answer my prayer when I wanted and how I wanted. How I praised my God for the first time. I was thankful for those wounds, open wounds. I was thankful for the swollen thighs and bruises and pain and despair. I was truly thankful because where it brought me is so much bigger and so much more beautiful. God has such a beautiful plan. You will not come up with the plan that God has for you. You will not make it yourself.